Here you can find an intriguing investigation into the recent incident in the holiest city in Islam. Unexpected and fascinating phenomena are occurring as a result of the ongoing warming of the earth and melting icebergs. The blizzard at the Kaaba in the center of Islam is the subject of this study because it was an unusual phenomenon at the most Islam's holiest site. The potential connections and implications of this event with old prophecies and theories of the end of the world must be taken into account in any analysis of it. With each new discovery in this field, the surprising possibilities of this event become more and more. The amazing possibilities of its potential implications in a wider, broader context, such as the biblical hints of the coming of the Antichrist and the prophet's preparation, is the key to an investigation that will call into question long-held assumptions about the most influential people, ideas, and events in the world. In the world, what do these landmark events should we take them as divine judgment? Let's go deeper. Intriguing in honey as a message from God, and their imaginations are running wild, trying to understand it. Cleanse me and I will be whiter than snow. Psalm 517. And how God can turn sins with His grace into pure snow. Isaiah 1 o'clock. 18 minutes. Two examples of the symbolic of the correlation between snow and the cleansing of sins found in the Bible. Moreover, biblical warnings about of lying prophets and counselors are repeated when snow falls on such a sacred place like the Kaaba, as mentioned in Deuteronomy 18:20. The current occurrence of snow at the Kaaba is reflected in several biblical passages that encourage us to examine more closely the spiritual and prophetic significance of this remarkable phenomenon. At its very core, this heavenly cube of the Kaaba contains the priceless fact of a black stone. Many people think that this stone is a gift from God and that it is beautiful to them. On the other hand, many people believe that Satan is trying to deceive people by claiming to be Christ. Throughout the ages, people have admired and revered the black stone, which has been the subject of several legends and hypotheses. According to historians and religious scholars, Arab tribes honored the stone even before it was converted to Islam. Its zaha and sacred air is reinforced by the widespread belief that it came from outer space. Some even go so far as to call it a meteorite. However, the idea that Satan might try to imitate Christ has its roots in apocalyptic history in both Islam and Christianity. The Antichrist, a figure who appears in these stories to deceive believers about the end of the world, is common. The snowfall in the marker could be interpreted by some as omens. Causing such predictions must also take into account the broader cultural and historical background. Because of its spiritual importance and long history, Mecca has always been the site of religiously. The Prophet Muhammad was born and received the revelation of the Quran in this. Millions of Muslims travel there every year to perform the Hajj, a religious ritual that has been going on for generations. The spiritual significance associated with the unusual weather phenomena is not something unprecedented throughout history. Many natural phenomena have been considered to be signs from above. For example, many people have attached great religious to the solar eclipse that occurred at the time of Jesus' crucifixion. Thus some modern believers may similarly to interpret the snowfall in honey. Throughout history there have been several natural disasters that have been considered signs from above. Famous events in the Hebrew tradition include the parting of the Red Sea, while the appearance of the Star of Bethlehem marks the birth of Jesus. In the Christian, for Muslims, the elephant incident, when birds throwing stones did not allowed the Abrahamic, a miraculous intervention that preserved the sacred place appear random. Fruits and trees, the fact that the name of Allah appears on fruits and trees is a frequently cited example. Some believe that tree trunks, the leaves of watermelons and tomatoes have Allah's name inscribed on them, or verses of the Quran. Many believe that these phenomena are signs from above that there is a divine too. The universe is governed by a divine too. Development of the Arabic words in the clouds Allah and Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. In the eyes of many Muslims, these formations are divine messages designed to inspire a stronger faith and serve as a constant, a reminder of God's omnipotence and power. Divine punishment through natural disasters. Natural disasters such as earthquakes and tsunamis have long been considered curses from on high. Religious leaders, for example, have perceived the Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami in 2004 as a message from above. In the Indian Ocean in 2004 as a message from above, calling for repentance of sins and a return to the teachings of the Quran. This view has its origins in Islamic theology, which holds that the idolatry of long dead civilizations led to their downfall. Quran 2. Under this lens, we can see volcanoes erupting. Volcanoes are sometimes equated with retribution inflicted by a people who did not obey God's prophet in the Quran. So, these phenomena are seen as signs from above to live according to the teachings of the holy mysteries and cures defying logic. 1. Miraculous cures is said to have originated in the Quran. Report feeling better after touching or reading passages from the Holy Book as proof of the healing power of God's teachings. The Muslim community often records and share such cases. Some people think that the spiritual energy contained in the Quran can cure both mental and physical ailments. It just goes to show how important faith and prayer are. Protection from natural disasters is reported that some people have been miraculously saved from natural disasters that, according to the Quran, is generally regarded as a sign of divine intervention. For example, there have been reports of houses that survived the natural disasters unscathed, even when their neighbors' houses were flattened. Interprets the regular recitation of the Quran, the inhabitants of these houses, as evidence of divine protection because they are considered devout believers in extraterrestrial events such as solar and lunar eclipses, as well as the appearance of comets, were considered signs from above. These astronomical phenomena are generally considered periods of prayer and contemplation for Muslims as a reminder of the greatness of God and the weakness of humanity. Muslims are traditionally required to offer special prayers. Cow salad during eclipses. Second theme is shooting stars, which are described in the Quran as a means by which the God drives away demons trying to infiltrate divine communication. Interpretation of natural phenomena in the Quran adds a spiritual dimension, reinforcing the belief that the universe is under the constant protection of divine energies. Explaining past catastrophes. First, the decline of long ago is Nuvab. Stories of ancient civilizations like Hel and Samet whose leaders did not obey when modern natural disasters. Modern-day natural disasters. Natural disasters like floods and droughts can be seen as signs from above for Muslims throughout. Throughout history, such things have been either punishment or a test of faith in times of drought. In times of drought, many believed that God was prompting his people to seek mercy and forgiveness through increased devotion to prayer and charity. These examples show how religious beliefs can change our understanding of natural phenomena that can be seen as evidence of faith and a constant search for signs from on high. They prove that there is a close connection between spirits and natural phenomena and give believers confidence in the power and presence of God in their lives as a result of snowfall in a place. An incredibly religious place like the Kaaba could be seen as a sign of profound spiritual importance. Makes us think about the relationship between the real and the mystical, and how events in the real world can have a significant impact on the spiritual realm. To summarize, the snowfall in the Kaaba is an event that goes beyond mere meteorology. This is where faith, history, and prophetic interpretation come together. No matter how you look at it, it's a thought-provoking event about what place you inscribes to the divine God has given us. Concepts for our own projects. Lying leads to the third offense of lying. Prophets falsely claiming divine of inspiration were severely punished by God. The final threat is the prevalence of false prophets who are quick to challenge God's true messengers and whose attractive messages only increase their popularity. The predictions of these frauds are sometimes preferable to the predictions of true. The presence of false gods is not limited to the physical realm. They can even manifest within us. God is not a cruel and evil God always ready to punish, rather he is a holy and just a God who, when confronted with human crimes, emphasizes his holiness and justice. We can ignore his great generosity though. God's focus is on love and grace. The Bible and the teachings of Jesus emphasize that rejecting God has consequences instead of looking at his creation with anger and hostility. God looks at it through the lens of love and grace. It's important to know the character of God when we contemplate him, talk to him or pray to him in order to lay the foundation for Christ's forgiveness. To develop not only love and forgiveness but also an attitude of constant gratitude and praise. After I've told you everything, I want to know what you think. Leave a comment telling me what you think.